What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me,
Liam.
And today we are diving into Handmaid's Tale Season 2, Episode 12. If you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you're tuning back in, welcome back. We are a show about shows, don't pretend to be experts, but we really do love entertainment, and we love to chat about it. And this is much like your break room at work, where you watched the show last night and you go and talk about it with your friends the next day. So that means that you're going to talk about it with us, if you'd like, down in the comments below. We ask that the only thing you don't add to the show is spoilers. So if we're right, we're wrong, you believe it, like you agree with us, disagree with us, you want to share your own opinion, whatever it may be, the comments is where you can do that. Again, just don't spoil anything for anyone else. If you like this video and you want to hit that like button for us, it really helps out. If you haven't subscribed yet, that's a quick click for you, but it really greatly helps us and also YouTube letting us know we're doing the right job. And without further ado, we're going to dive right in.
So opening scene is June being milked like a cow.
It's an interesting way of thinking about it. Yes. Yeah, she's pumping. That's, I've seen my wife do it many, many times, and it's, part of pregnancy. Even if she were having the baby with her in the home, she would still be pumping. But unfortunately, the scenario is such that she is basically a prisoner inside the Red Center with Aunt Lydia at that moment. And Aunt Lydia is doing what Aunt Lydia does, being so blindly loyal to the cause and so cheerful about the outcome.
And talking her up like, you could have delivered your kid by yourself.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, she's cheerful about the outcome, absolutely. And then, the way I want to describe her is she is not naive, because she is aware, but she's also so loyal to the cause that she will overlook things. Because in this particular scene, the other aunt goes, this particular batch is lower than the last one. She's not producing as much. And because she doesn't have the baby, she's starting to dry up. And so Aunt Lydia's like, we get that, but because of Serena's orders, there's not much we can do. Mm-hmm. And so I just think it's really interesting, the dynamic of her character, where, she always does want to do what's best for the baby and do what's, right for the cause. But at the same time, she's like, I don't know, she will bend corners. She got a headache, so it's hard to think. Sorry, guys.
But June also challenges her on that, is like, yeah, you made a promise that you'd help this baby.
Yeah.
Right before that.
Calls her on it, yeah.
Yeah. And Lydia goes, you deserve a cupcake. I got bribed by these, but we'll overlook that. Mm-hmm. And then June's like, shit, I deserve a cake.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah. And she's like, what does she say? She ever quotes something from the Bible back to her about, being grateful for what you're offered and not asking for more, basically. Mm-hmm. Don't be gluttonous.
Yes. And then June's like, whatever, it's a cupcake. And she goes and smells it. She's like, kind of like, fuck, it's brand figures.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right?
The one thing I thought to myself while I was watching this episode is that with all the screwed up mindset that goes into the leadership that runs Gilead, they haven't done something along the lines of, like, I'm sure Mad Max existed in this universe. It's an older movie, 80s movie, right? And so Immortum Joe has his harem of ladies and, like, basically milks them, like you were saying, like they're cows. And then, like, one of the main resources that he has is, like, breast milk. And, like, I was just thinking, I was like, they already have the equipment to pump the women. What would stop them from getting the women who had just given birth and basically just doing like they do in the Mad Max movie and using them as a milk farm?
That'd take it to a whole nother level for sure. It's already fucked up enough.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, well, Gilead's already messed up. Why wouldn't they just do something screwed up like that too? I was trying to figure out, like, was that the line they called it at? It was like, no, that's too inhumane. That resource we can't have.
I don't think that would be why they wouldn't do it. I don't know. To me, it just seems like they'd rather have the mother do it. And this is one of those instances where Serena's just like, yeah, no, she can't be here. So I feel like based on that, this is more of a one-off kind of thing, or very too few to come up.
So with June and Serena, the dynamic is so toxic that Serena's multiple times mentioned she's getting her out of the house immediately. But that's not normal. Normally, what I'm hearing and understanding now is that the handmaid would stay in the house
Yeah, we saw until she fucked up.
Well, that's kind of the thing is like every scenario we've seen so far on screen has been cut short by something. So we haven't seen like the full cycle of what like a handmaid's traditionally supposed to do in Gilead, because we're watching it through June's perspective, and she's part of a very willful group of women, which is great because we get to see that silver lining through this evil hatred. What I'm trying to figure out though, and I think you just kind of summed it up for me, is that the reason they haven't thought of another wicked way to abuse and use these women is because June's a one-off. It's not something that they would always need, because they actually just continue to use the handmaid. And
that's how I feel,
okay,
or what I'm seeing on everything. But then after that, we go into like Fred's new office.
Oh yeah, they got like a new house. Hey, look, because they didn't remodel his office. It looks like they gave him like an upgraded house. No?
I feel like that's like a government building type thing.
Oh, okay, so that's not his house. I thought they gave him a whole new house for a second. I'm like, damn, they upgraded him.
They were talking about his office. He's like, this is too big. And then for optics, he's trying to play it down, but he really wants to hear everyone say, oh no, this is what you deserve kind of thing is how I feel that.
So that office is outside his home somewhere in like a government building.
That's what I'm working under.
Okay. I'm sorry guys, I got a really bad headache, so like I'm like not fully there right now.
While we're in the office though, they just brush over everything that just happened to Nick. Like that felt extremely lazy.
I think they address it enough, but yeah, it does seem like we don't really get a full explanation of like, how did he get away from the Guardians? Did those Guardians get in trouble for messing with Nick? Was there repercussions for Nick being there? Like, we do kind of hear from Aunt Lydia that like there's a story being spun that June knew she was going to give, like getting close to labor, so she went for a drive to go into labor, and then because of what happened and Nick being taken away, she had to give birth by herself, and how brave she was because she did that. Like we do get that kind of spun story in two different pieces, one from Aunt Lydia and then the rest from Fred later. But yeah, I agree. Like there's a lot of missing pieces there.
As you've seen in this universe, though, everyone is like backstabbing and working to fight against each other as commanders to get a leg up and get higher up in their political system.
Yeah, because it's right in front of us. They are a bunch of men who are narcissistic and power hungry, who are using, I would say almost hiding behind a set of beliefs that they don't truly feel in their soul. Like they don't believe it is a mask. It is a way, is a tool for them to have power. And so if you were, and I guess it's a hard mindset, but if you're able to put yourself in that mind and be like, okay, well, what would my loyalties be to? It would be to you and to power. It would be to the exact thing that you were building and what you see in front of you. It's what everyone's doing. So I think if this was happening in Canada, I'd be like, this is weird, but it's happening in Gilead and I expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole family photo thing.
Well, that was a dig on Nick for sure. Making him hang it, making him kind of like all of that was a dig on him. Every part of that conversation, even though every word Fred is saying is that of like compliment, because of the dynamic and the baby, it's all digs. Every single one is a dig.
Yeah, we got each other's backs, right, Nick?
Yeah, you're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tells him he's gonna rise from this and like all the different. Like, yeah, he's just digging on him, like basically letting him know, like, yeah, you're not gonna see your baby. You're not gonna have love. Like, you're not gonna. All these things that you were doing behind my back, they're mine now. Like, that's what he's doing. He's getting his little digs in, so he feels powerful.
The picture to me kind of feels like it's a trophy of the people he controls.
Yeah, that can be it.
Maybe
too.
I'm watching too much Dexter.
Yeah, maybe. But like, here's the thing: a lot of these things that we watch have crossover, right? For a reason. So yeah, it could be. It could very much be.
And then we have the church, where Aunt Lydia sets up this thing with Fred, or Fred probably sets it up, right? So Fred sets up the meet in the church to get June lactating again.
Yeah, so we find out. I think it is Fred. No, it's Rita. who brings up
She brings up the
supply as well.
dwindling,
Yeah. And Serena gets visibly angry that she kind of understands what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, because when Fred and Serena have the conversation after the church,
Mm-hmm.
that conversation, to me, the context of that makes me believe that Serena sent Fred,
No.
because the only she knew he was there. The only thing that she wanted to make sure was that she didn't touch the baby.
I think she's mad that he went.
Oh,
That's why it's such a bigger deal later on when she agrees to have June in the house. Because she's going through all the thing of like, that would be like colic, right? The baby crying the way it was.
well, colic's just like gassiness, but it could
okay.
be. Yeah, it could be.
I thought colic was the reason why babies cry when they're young.
No, no.
Okay. Well,
It's one of the things that can cause it. Yes.
when she's just like going through it, at one point she even pulls her breasts out to, I feel like that was more for her to feel like she's the mother. And then when it didn't work, she just like starts breaking down and apologizing to the baby. That's why I truly believe that was the breaking point for her to accept June back in the house for the breast milk.
It would make sense. Yeah, that scene was interesting in the fact that the only purpose of doing something like that would be for Serena's mental well-being, like for her to feel as if she truly is the mother and being able to do the thing that she's unable to do at that point, right? The baby's hungry. She doesn't have any milk. She wants to feed the baby. She has a breast, but the breast doesn't have the milk, right? And so she goes through that whole process of like wanting to be there, wanting to do it, being unable to do it, realizing that it actually does more harm than good, because the baby does suckle, but at the same time, the baby is expecting to feed, and now it's not, and now it's even more angry because it's not getting food.
Damn you, dry well.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, you got to think about, like, if you were about to sit down and have a dinner, and then all of a sudden, someone just gave you an empty plate, you'd probably be a little upset too. So, baby can't communicate that, so baby's going to cry. And, Serena, like any mother, anyone nurturing and maternal is going to do, is immediately going to snap in and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I feel so bad. Like, we got to get you what you really need. But I don't know. I'm not a woman, so it's really hard to put myself in any kind of that scenario. I'm just kind of like, at that time, I'm like, it's got to be hard to be there. It's got to be hard to be Serena in that situation, which, how evil she is, it's kind of hard. You don't want to empathize with her, but at the same time, in that situation, it's like, damn, that's gotta be rough.
Yes. We also find out that Eden has disappeared. Nick's looking for her.
And June set that up. I don't know if she knew it was going to happen or not, but she was definitely feeling it at the pool. Like, you could tell. That's another life on her hands.
Because right the night before that, Eden was talking to June, and June thinks better of it, and then she's like, oh, well, just tell her find love, right? But she also lets her know that, look, I'm not going to be a threat with Nick. I'm going to be gone soon. So she's attempting to make things right in the sense of making sure that her feelings are okay. But she actually felt good when she said, if I found love, I would just grab it in this dark, dark place.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if June's intention was to make her run away with the guard. Does June even know about the guard?
No.
I didn't think so.
Only Nick knows.
Yeah, I thought it was June's understanding is, in that situation, is that Eden is talking about Nick.
Well, she asks her if it's possible to find love and have a family in Gilead. And when she's saying that, she's talking about Isaac.
I know.
But June doesn't know about Isaac.
Yes.
So June drops her guard. And like you just said, it kind of lets her know, like, hey, I'm not a problem. But at the same time, we as the viewer know that just gave Eden permission to go run away with Isaac.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So you did kind of get to see your whole, what was going to happen to that guard in Eden.
Well, I called it from the very first time we met her. She was so hungry for attention, so hungry for that approval and love that she'd been indoctrinated into her whole life, that she was going to jump at the first opportunity, the first person who showed it to her. unfortunately, she got married to Nick while she was so young, and Nick was in love with June, and that was never going to happen. So I thought it might be Fred. That didn't work out. It ended up being Isaac, and it's kind of like a tragic love story, right? Like you have these two kids who were brought up in a way of thinking that is evil and didn't serve them. And then throughout all of that, they find love. They decide they want to be together and run away. And they end up being killed for it. Even in the end, she has the opportunity to like repent and be a good Gilead woman and live by the cloth or whatever they're recite the thing that the guy was trying to make her recite. And instead, she decides to talk about love and how important that is. And I thought that was really cool to see. Is because you had these two people who we've only ever seen be complete loyalists to Gilead find love and within a day or two throw away all of that bullshit because what they found was more pure and more real. And I thought that was a cool thing to see, right? The unfortunate end of their lives, but to see them have that shift in belief before it, though.
Did you see how far Nick was willing to go to attempt to keep her alive?
Yeah,
he was willing to protect her.
He felt complete guilt. Like he felt responsibility. I would say it was above guilt. He felt responsibility
because he pushed her away.
Yeah. Well, he pushed her away. He saw her cheat and kind of didn't do anything about it and encouraged it. So a lot of the things that led her to her death were directly part of Nick. Yeah. And so he definitely, you can see it when he's sitting in the bleachers. He's like even trying to, like, he's speaking under his breath, trying to get her to like do anything, any last minute chance, because he already spoke to her in the locker room. And then when they push her, like, he's devastated. It's his wife. So, I mean, that looks bad on him. So maybe he's trying to keep optics, but also I think it affected him because he feels responsible.
I agree. And this is your first introduction to Lawrence since we started at the beginning.
Yeah. So let's unpack him because this was fun for me. The Lawrence Emily thing.
Yes.
Because I know who Lawrence is. Right. So I was sitting there the whole time going, if I didn't know him, they are doing a really good job of making him seem like a creepy old dude. Just a creepy old man who is like doing really evil things and is very controlling of his wife. To the point where he locks her in a room. Now, I know, again, I've seen season 6.
Before you go there, I just want to say how fucking hilarious it was for him to slam the door on Aunt Lydia.
Yeah.
I love that part. And then when the one Martha was in the house, she trips over something. She's like cursing and shit. She's missing an eye. So she seriously did something wrong. But he's like, don't move my stuff. Do you want to get beat or something? Try it, old man. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, which is a very subtle nod for the new viewer on where this is going with Lawrence. He is not a real believer. He doesn't really care. He doesn't want anything to do with the ceremony. He is in his position. He has done evil things, but at the end of the day, he's there for optics, so he can stay in control and stay in power for his own self-preservation and self-good. He's not there because he's a true believer by any means.
Emily is so confused with those encounters. She's like, I don't know what to do.
Well, and if you were to be watching this for the first time as a viewer, you would be really confused too.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because
I don't remember.
I was, trying to put myself in that mindset of like, okay, I have never met Lawrence before. This encounter right now is creepy as hell. Like he's sitting there talking to her about all of her past.
Well, even before that, she's just left in the hallway and they just walk off.
Yeah.
So she's just standing there like, now what the fuck do I do?
And then gets caught reading.
Yep.
And he doesn't, I mean, he mentions like, what the punishment is, which again, it's just, I think it's just playing him into a villain so that when you reveal he's not one, it's like, oh, okay, we get this. But
yeah, well, she answers like, yeah, you lose a finger. And he's like, yeah, it's not how it started. It used to be you lost a whole hand. Ah, the good old days.
Yeah, he's a fun character.
But his wife, after that, comes out to talk to Emily, and we find out that,
yeah, he's the mastermind behind the colonies.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, again, I said, he's not without his evil flaws. He is a commander for a reason. I'm just going on how I know him in season 6 and, how much of a huge component he is to June and what she has to do. So I enjoy him as a character.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, I know. And I'm enjoying that. Emily is a character that when she showed up in season 6, everyone went crazy about her being there. So I'm really happy that we're getting a lot more. I'm getting to experience a lot more of her story, just like you guys did. So I get to also be excited about that. We have June going through her postpartum right now, hence the name of the episode. So we're getting to see kind of how she navigates the risky waters of now no longer being pregnant and also being a very volatile handmaid. We got introduced to Lawrence being brought into the picture now, so that's great. So I have a feeling we're going to have our season finale, and then we'll roll with some big climax, and we'll roll into season 3 with a lot of the star players that I really enjoy inside of this series. So I'm excited to see how that unfolds.
Hell yeah. Can't wait for the season finale next Tuesday.
Yeah. And then we'll go live on Thursday, chatting all about season 2 and everything else so far.
Yep.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys tuning in, especially getting all the way to the end. I know my energy was super low today. I got like this splitting headache that I woke up with, but really wanted to talk about this episode, so we jumped in and did it anyway. So hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. And I can't wait to see all your comments below. But until then, there's plenty of videos for you to check out. We got a lot of them on this channel. I think we're at over 400 videos on this channel and like 100 and something podcast episodes. I don't know. High numbers. You can watch them for days. We'll see you there.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were. You've already come far.